English. We'll start with primary stress. Primary stress is the loudest and longest syllable in a word with a very noticeable change in pitch on the vowel. In one-syllable words, that one syllable has the primary stress. Blue or 10. It's the only syllable in the word, so of course it receives the primary stress. That makes sense. The vowel is louder and longer, and there's an obvious change in pitch. Listen for that change in pitch. Blue. 10. 10. Even when I speed it up, that change in pitch is obvious. The only exceptions to this rule of a one-syllable word receiving the primary stress are a handful of function words like the, which are usually unstressed or reduced. We rush through them. We'll talk more about those commonly reduced or rushed words in another lesson. The second level of stress is secondary stress. These are the syllables which are stressed, but not as much as the primary stress. So they are loud and long with a change in pitch, but not as loud or as long as the syllables that get the primary stress. And the change in pitch on the vowel is not quite as noticeable. An example of secondary stress would be the first syllable in this word, disappear. We do spend some time on this syllable and we do make the vowel louder and longer, but not quite as much as we do on this last syllable, the third syllable, peer. If both of these syllables received primary stress, which can happen, it happens in certain words, but here it doesn't. If both of these syllables received primary stress, it would sound like this: disappear, disappear, disappear. But because we don't spend quite as much time on the disappear, we categorize that as secondary stress. And if you notice this middle syllable, we just rush through as quickly as we can. Disappear. We get right to that third syllable that receives the primary stress. The third level of stress is the unstressed syllable. These are the syllables that have no stress at all, so we rush through them and shorten the vowel until it's almost completely gone. I often tell my students to just cut the vowel, pretend like it's not there at all, even though it is there, but that the idea of cutting the vowel seems to work. When people are used to giving equal stress to every syllable, which is the timing pattern of a lot of other languages, getting people to learn to cut that vowel in the unstressed syllable can really help with the rhythm overall. So the change in pitch on this vowel is there, but it's barely noticeable. Let's take a look at some examples. The first syllable of the word prepare is the unstressed syllable. We cut the vowel, we rush through it as quickly as we can, even though the letter E is in the word as far as spelling. Because this syllable is completely unstressed, we cut the vowel and use what's called the unstressed vowel, or the schwa, which again, we'll learn more about that in another lesson. For now, just imitate pr and get through it as quickly as you can so that you can get to the second syllable that gets all the stress and all the vowel and all the change in pitch. Prepare. Prepare. Unstressed syllables are often very confusing as far as spelling. It doesn't matter what vowel letter you see. Most of the time, that letter will be representing the unstressed vowel or the schwa or the sound. Same thing happens with the word yoga. The second syllable is unstressed. We replace the letter A with the unstressed vowel, the sound, and we get away from that syllable as quickly as we can. Yoga, yoga.